Till and lead us.
On three. 1, 2, 3. I did.
You cannot have it only spanning one joist. It has to span two joists.
Okay.
So you see how you got the lines lined up right there?
Yeah.
So
we were helped. They were going. They did it. I said it was okay, and then we talked.
Yeah.
And then that's why I
And
stopped
this is
number
okay.
2 and number 5.
but our
and-
future ones, like the number 1 is the perfect way to do it. Number 2, you've got a seam that's lined up in your short piece and your second piece.
Railroading.
Yep, which you really shouldn't do. That's the biggest no-no right there. So if we want to all come take a look at this. Oh, sorry. So what that does is, the whole idea of splitting your seams is the floor doesn't flex. So when you run a seam all the same, that means you got a flex point. All right? So you do not ever want to do this lineup like this, and if you had 3 sheets lined up, big no-no. Yeah, because you'd have to pull it all up, because what happens is when you step on it, that's bending at that point. When you span over it, it doesn't bend at that point. You're keeping everything rigid. So, but we'll let that go on this because we are, now here's the good thing. We have 2.5 inches of rafter. Your joists, see how thick they are? Where on a normal one, you only got 1.5 inches. So you're more confident that you're gonna get a better connection right there, but this one will never, I don't want to ever see that again, but you guys might not be doing another one of these floors, I don't know.
Number 1.
But trying to fit it all in is a whole nother story. It's like any new house or new project you do, you got to snap it out and see what you got to move and see how everything's going to fit. So
as you start doing this, first thing, one of the things you'll want to work on is getting the shower pan. And you're going to need to put that shower pan over your drain. After you have your outside walls snapped, you need those.
I'm going to enter. Just keep one pan out and
That's
use
all we
that
want.
to fit all of them, but I don't want to ever see the pan in here until top out,
We only
because
get it
it'll
from the
get
layout.
damaged by somebody.
Yeah. So what you want to do is take that pan, and you got to make sure, if you look at this one, this edge of the pan has to line up with your red line, and this edge of the pan lines up with your wall line over there, because the drywall or the wall board will go on the inside of this pan, okay? And so that's where the wall goes. So this has to fit. If we take this and put it right here, this needs to fit right at that corner and be flush with this line and this line, okay? This actually sits against the framing. The pan sits against the framing here and here. It should touch the 2x4s, okay? So with that, some of you, I know this one's gonna have to move some. Now, I tried it on all 3 of these, and they all have to move a little. The closest one is number 1, will not have to move too much. But don't forget, you have to cut out around that so that this will fit down into the subfloor. This goes down into the subfloor. So use your hacksaw. You just have to be careful. There's an eye joist. You bumped it out down below with a piece of 2x4 and 1/2 inch plywood, but there's an eye joist you want to be careful of. Sawzall, right? Jigsaw. We got 2 jigsaws. Over here, when you get to this layout, I need to correct one thing on this layout because we just made another change. And this wall here, one of the things you need to understand, that wall that goes right here, you're gonna put a wall right from here to here. That wall, this wall right here, is a 1.5 inch framed wall, finished wall, 2 inches. So how do you get a 1.5 inch framed wall? No, just turn your 2x. instead of the 2x going this way, you're going to turn it, and it's only 1.5 inches wide.
You know, I found
And
that
that
in
will-
the house I was demolishing, and I thought it was just shoddy carpentry.
Who does this?
Well, yeah, but we're going to back it up with a piece of 1/2-inch plywood.
Oh, okay.
Okay, to
Yeah.
make it a rigid wall. Here's the thing: we just don't have the room to put a full 2x4 wall.
Where the edge of this is, that's where your wall starts, but you need to do measurements. Use these measurements I have here. And you will then put the 2x4, then the plywood, and then drywall goes on top of that for a 27-inch opening for the washer and dryer. Okay?
So just making sure I have it correct for the interior wall that we're talking about. Instead of laying the bottom plate flat, we'll tilt it up.
No.
No? Okay.
Dan, what do you want to do for the bottom plate of this wall?
Which wall?
This 2x2 wall.
Just rip a 2x4 down into a 2x.
There you go.
Okay.
It's only going
It's a
to...
short piece.
Yeah, it's not a deep wall.
I'm glad I clarified because that
Yeah.
would have looked awkward.
Yeah, whatever.
on that.
Yeah.
That's what he asked.
That's a little harder to nail to.
The bottom plate you're ripping. It's the one standing up that you're turning sideways.
okay, all right.
Yeah. Is that better?
Your bottom and top plate you'll rip.
Yeah, bottom and top. And the top will tie into the joist.
Yep.
So you got to put this measurement.
So
Up
at
here.
this point, you got your ceiling up. Before you can stand your wall, you got blocking to put in that you've got to nail your ceiling to, or your walls to.
You'll have to bring the
You
block.
also need to get your blocking in for your drain at this point.
Anything else to add, Dan?
No, the blocking's a big thing. Layout, everybody mark it out, and then we're going to come by and check it.
Before you
So
build
you
your
don't
wall.
frame walls and do that. Have we inspected nailing the screws?
No. This wall here should be about 1/4 inch off of here. So take your measurement. It's the outside line. I messed up the first line. So it's the outside line. This is a 5.5 inch wall because it's a 2x6 wall. And you see where they intersect right here. And that's just what I have. You want to move, please, Junior? Then right here, the wall
here.
I know. Intersects right here with a trimmer and a king, and this is about 26 inches from the trimmer to here. We need that for the 21-inch vanity and then some trim out work. And then from here all the way back 66.5 inches is where you get your next trimmer and then your king. And so you'll see here's the trimmer and your king. This is from the outside here to this line is 40.5 inches. And then from right here to here should be, nope, right there, 27 inches finished. So that's where our 2.5 inch wall comes from, the 2 inches of the wall with sheeting and then the drywall on top. Okay?
The outside we do just like normal. We start here and we do our 16 inch.
Outside, you want to start with your window openings and your door openings first. And we talked about our door opening being starts right here with your
Sure about the door opening now?
Yep.
That's where it's at.
door opening goes right here. Our trimmer, it's a 3068 door. So 3 feet off is your next trimmer, right? Okay. Get your opening there, then your king stud. This plays as the king stud for this opening, so the door's going here. And then over there, your window. You have a mark on your plans. There's a measurement for your window. And then on this side over here, the plan has a different measurement. It says 7/8, but we're doing 7/9 for the center of that window.
Just clarifying, this is a 36 inch door?
This is a 3068 door. 6/8. 3 inches from the center out, and on the outside of that 3 inches. Okay? Other questions?
We're marking these as king.
I would mark
Well, you're saying they're double.
what? Laying the outside. I would snap your chalk line from corner to corner.
And then after that,
And then after that, I would mark your windows and openings, your door. Then I would mark your interior walls and all that, and then go and mark your 16 on centers around. because as you get to your openings and doors, some of that, and exterior walls, you might have to change some things for those 16 on center studs to make that wall connect right. Because when you have an interior wall connecting, you have to have some place to nail or screw the drywall. So if your wall intersects and there's no stud behind it, then you need to put some studs so that there's a nail or screw strip to screw in drywall. Does that make sense? Okay.
So windows and doors.
All right. You ready to go? And Dan said, make sure you have him inspect your layout before you move on. He wants to make sure it's laid out correctly. Any questions?
What we got accomplished yesterday, we finished our floors. We had to put, like you said, we put the eye joints up, got them all cut, and then yesterday around the end of the day we got that finished. We were just working on we had about an hour to spare, but the instructors couldn't get the floor plan laid out in time, so we just ended up leaving a little bit early yesterday. And then today we got the interior walls, and as you see this chalk line right here, they're getting ready for their exterior walls, like their outside walls. So we're gonna build the walls with the studs and the windows and the doors, and then build your interior walls, do the same thing, make sure they're level and straight. And then you're gonna put sheeting around the outside. I do not think we're gonna finish the sheeting today, but we'll see. Yeah, like I said, it's moving even faster than the first and second build. It's going pretty fast. Like, it took us 2 days to get to here. Last time it took us like a week and a half. And we're doing the exterior walls and laying out our thing for the interior walls as well. And then if we get all the walls done, we're gonna sheet the outside with plywood. Watch this, Edgar. Come here. You look at this, so I know where to start. Hold on, let me make sure I know what's up. I was just looking at the plan so I can know where to start. I'm gonna start on this wall because it's the easiest wall. But first we gotta go around and fix what Dan did yesterday.
What do you gotta fix?
All those little red markings he just made coming around. Like, there's only a couple of them. There's only 3 actually.
Corrections?
Yeah. I got a lot of people missing today. They said they're gonna interview you today for real, and everyone missed. Now I can build my floor. I'm just chalking a line so I know where my wall goes. Oh, let me just double check. Yeah, so I'm chalking this line so I know my wall doesn't pass it. What I usually do is when I chalk the line doesn't come out as strong. So I go over it with a straight edge and make it with a pencil, but that's usually when I'm cutting it, because when I'm cutting it right before the saw hits the chalk line, it like blows it away so I can't see it. So if you make a pencil line, you can just see it a lot better. Need a whole bunch of 2x4s. I have to get a whole bunch of wood for the studs, and I want to make sure they're kind of good. So if I come out here and get first pick, it makes it a lot easier to work with. I'm looking for a piece that's not bowed or crowned. Bow is when it bends. No, let me think. Crown. Okay, yeah. Bow's when the wood goes like this. Crown is when this piece goes like this. So bow is when this side's crooked and crown. You just take that whole part out. I don't know what I'm talking about. Do not know what I'm talking about. told by Nelson to put these on, but these don't really help me. I put
I
these.
wouldn't put any of those.
That's what I'm
marks
saying.
on.
I direct them right onto the 2x4.
Yeah,
So
put 'em-
it's
yeah.
pointless to put those on.
So
okay.
the best thing to do is chalk it out, then you take your plates and you lay out your plates.
Yep. Lay out my plate, staple them together, and then put these lines on my 2x4.
Exactly.
Thank you, Dan. Appreciate it. Yeah, you remember that line I had you hold? Yes. I need all those. Yeah. Snap that. Oh, never mind. Jordan, under this side, Jordan. I was saying for those wood, put them under this side. This your bag? What? Oh, my bag is out there when I got some wood. Dan's just marking out our interior walls for us. It's like he's directing their measurement like we did on the plumbing right here. He does it on one group and he spreads it out to the other. You gotta copy what that one group did. So they did it on that group, they laid it out, got their chalk lines done. Now he's just transferring that information to our group.
27 inches. And that gives us 1 inch bigger.
For your drywall and stuff?
Right. So right there. And then from there, we're gonna go 3.5 inches for the wall. All right. So there's your walls right there. All right. Does that make sense? Now, you're gonna wanna take these measurements and duplicate them down there on your 5-inch wall, which you don't have yet. So let's go mark that one out. Makes that point right here. All right. So let's move it over closer to the pipe and see how that's gonna work. So 8'8" minus 5.5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5. That's too close. So we're gonna go 98 inches and then 5.5 inches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5. All right, so that now is your 2x6 wall going that way. So you want to duplicate these measurements over there.
39.5 to 39.5 and then 2 inches.
Yeah. So what do you got here?
39.5 to 2 inches.
And then 2 inches more.
Yep.
And then your farthest point is what you want, this point right here. Right there, you're at 72, let's say 72.25 and 68 and
I gotta do those marks first. I'm not gonna remember these.
yeah, do these first.
Okay.
Now, as a team, you would have your tape out marking the numbers he tells you. Okay, so if he's telling you put a mark at 62, go over there and put a mark at 62, an arrow, and then at 68. Okay, so whatever measurements he's telling you. So you're just telling each other to transfer numbers.
Snap this line or mark these ones out?
line, these 2 lines.
Okay.
So let's snap these 2 lines all the way down, and you want to go 3 feet
Past that?
3 feet past. Go more. Right there.
Down?
Now, which line are you on?
This one.
The outside or the? There you go.
Inside.
You guys look lined up. There you go. Snap your line. All right.
Well, that red is
Now
nice.
snap your other side.
3 feet past again. Ready? I wrote it
Okay,
quick.
so I don't know what that distance is right there,
Uh-huh.
but that's gonna be like a trimmer and whatever it takes to fill in that distance. Okay.
All right.
So do a line across here so you know where that is with your. No, that's your center point. Yeah. Yeah, you don't need to worry about that line. That's your center of your opening. So let's lay out this wall right here. 36 inches. So we want to be at least 3 inches bigger. So at 39 inches. Okay. Now transfer these 2 lines up there close to where you just made that. Now snap your line on that one. The 3.5 wall, 2 inches of bullnose tile past that shower pan. So we want to go to 39 inches, and that gives me a little extra. That's the end of that wall. So draw a square line across there, and that's the end of that wall. Sheet of plywood cost me $90 a piece.
The red stuff we put on the outside.
That 10-foot tall, okay? So that's one of your most expensive pieces of wood going on this building. So everyone you screw up, that's $90.
Why don't they tell us this to begin with? If it's for
Well, no, well, that's not up to you. You need to learn how to build it. My job is to worry about that part. So that's when you start laying out your 4-foot centers. And you want to make sure it works on your plywood. Your sheetrock is much cheaper and easier to cut and make it work to whatever your nails are.
So you're saying what? Check if it's 4 feet all the way around?
4-foot centers for the sheetrock.
Yeah, so you just lay 16. If you go 16 from here,
I think we're starting on that.
4 foot would be 3/4 of an inch. No, that would be 4 foot to the center. Well, that's the whole layout of the whole structure. So if you want a room a certain size, you got to make sure you accommodate for sheetrock and everything to give you that size room. You need to know where your nailers have to be for your sheetrock to nail to. So the whole idea is to lay out your channels, and a channel is where the other wall ties into a perpendicular on a wall. And that's one of the basic thing is your layout is one of your most critical things on the whole house.
So gotta get that right.
Yes. If you don't have that right, the whole house is crooked.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%. To like the needle. Yeah, for sure. I'm just gonna forget it in a little bit. So it's like, I guess that's why it's on the floor. But I'm still gonna have to ask questions later. So it's like,
All right.
I bet.
So you want to lay out your
All right, let's lay out all these walls, boy.
Can you help us when you're done?
No. I'm just playing. What you guys need help with? See on the plans it says 4-3 to the center of that window? You want to mark out your walls, make sure they're correct. Because if you start building your walls and they're wrong, not gonna be a good day. Or you gotta, so like Dan was saying, you gotta mark out your shower so you know where to put your wall. You gotta know how far your door is away from your posts and stuff. You know what I'm saying? You gotta take in consideration the half inch you add to the drywall that's on top of that plywood. Can't wait to bust out these walls.